Starting in the last few weeks, we've seen private companies like the NFL, we've seen some hospitals, we've seen private universities start to roll out vaccine mandates or requirements for employees, students, staff, things like that, essentially saying, if you're a college campus saying, you have to get the vaccine if you want to return to campus when school comes back in the fall. The NFL has said that players, if they don't get the vaccine, they'll be subject to very strict protocols where they, have to wear masks all the time and can't really go out when the team is traveling. And so that's sort of slowly built up. We've seen more and more companies take on mandates like that, requiring employees to get the shot if they want to return to in-person work. And that's sort of extended. This week we saw to the federal government where the Department of Veterans Affairs announced that healthcare workers or employees who work sort of face-to-face in healthcare settings will be required to get the vaccine in the next 8 weeks. And on Thursday, we saw the White House sort of take the next logical step there, and President Biden announced that federal employees and civilian contractors for the government will be essentially asked to either get the vaccine, or if they don't get the vaccine, they'll be required to get tested regularly, wear masks all the time, and sort of face these more strict protocols if they choose not to get the shot.
Our experts tell me that cases will go up further before they start to come back down. But while cases are on the rise, we're not likely to see, according to experts, a comparable rise in hospitalizations or deaths in most areas of the country.
The groups that sort of represent federal employees seem to be mostly fine with it. And we've seen some business groups and labor groups support these kinds of mandates and requirements. The Chamber of Commerce, for example, said it was a good step. But I think the Biden administration has been really careful to say that, they're not looking at mandating the vaccine for all Americans or for the general public. They've been really careful to sort of avoid saying that, because I think there's some concern that if they do that, then maybe it sort of scares people who are worried about, government overreach, and that's why they don't want to get the vaccine, because they don't want the government telling them what to do. So they've been very careful to, say that this isn't going to extend to the broader public. But for the most part, it seems like, the groups that they are targeting seem to support it. And for the most part, public companies, it seems to be, or private companies, I should say, it seems to be, people tend to support private companies sort of taking these steps for their own employees at this point.
Why not push for vaccine mandates in states, private companies, schools? Do you want to see those entities pass vaccine mandates?
Well, I'd like to see them continue to move in that direction. And that's why I pointed out, I had asked the Justice Department to determine whether they're able to do that legally. And they can. Local communities can do that. Local businesses can do that. It's still a question whether the federal government can mandate the whole country. I don't know that yet. Last month, a study showed that over 99% of COVID-19 deaths have been among the unvaccinated. 99%. This is an American tragedy. People are dying and will die who don't have to die.
President Biden laid out on Thursday, he talked about sort of, the steps the administration is going to take to really kind of essentially ramp up again their focus on vaccinations after, once they hit 4th of July, it seemed like we're in a better place. And now it seems we're back to focusing on, really getting more people vaccinated. So, he announced on Thursday that states could use funding from the American Rescue Plan to incentivize vaccines by giving away $100 to people who get the shot.
I'm calling on all states and local governments to use funding they have received, including from the American Rescue Plan, to give $100 to anyone who gets fully vaccinated.
We talked about doing more outreach and offering paid time off so that families could get vaccinated and take their kids who are eligible over the age of 12 to get the shot.
We're going to provide more incentives to encourage unvaccinated Americans to get vaccinated. That starts with paid leave to get the shot. We're still hearing that people are unable to get time off from their employer to get vaccinated. Well, this is unacceptable. For some time now, I've said you should be able to get the shot and still get paid. Thanks to the American Rescue Plan, the federal government is fully reimbursing any small or medium-sized business that provides workers with paid time off to get vaccinated. Employers, this costs you nothing. If you haven't given employees paid time off, do it now, please.
So I think we're going to see sort of this renewed focus on getting people vaccinated because, the president and experts have repeatedly said that getting vaccinated is sort of the best protection against even the Delta variant. So that's, I think, where the focus is going to be moving forward, is on sort of these new incentives and these new strategies to encourage more people to get the shot. And there has been an uptick in the last few days. So we'll see if it lasts, but that's, I think, where the focus is going to be for the next several weeks.
My administration has made it clear to every governor that more federal resources are available to them. This includes deployment of surge teams composed of experts from the CDC and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the FEMA. The pictures of hospitals in several states overloaded with patients is unnecessary, avoidable, and tragic. We'll help any health system overloaded and unable to cope with a spike in cases. We're ready to do that.